All right, here's two of the Jeeps that pretty much started our whole, I guess you call it, driving style. This one, I swear to goodness, I bought it from a guy named John Elway. It wasn't a football player, that was just his name, but it was just a normal Jeep. Had the Puget transmission, Pugo, whatever you want to call it, and it whined. Well, I took it off and put like a bearing, no, it's like a differential shim, and just shoved the bearing back. It made noise, but we was just playing with it. So that's where it got started, and the only thing I was going to do with it is just turn it into a submarine. And I wanted to snorkel it, make it drive underwater. And I did a bunch of snorkeling run. No, that's not that, I don't lie to you. But it don't change the story. I was just gonna make a submarine out of it, and we had it in a creek over here by our house. And Justin had a big Jeep, I think it probably like a 6.5 inch lift, 35s, 33s, whatever it was. I had bone stock, no suspension, just 31. And he's like, climb this hill. He tried, he couldn't do it. And this thing just shot right up it. Okay, so it carries on. I can't drag out the story, but didn't have a cage, just kept on messing around with it. And they were still all in their big Jeeps that I'm sure you've seen before, but I was doing everything they was doing and having a good time. Well, Justin couldn't stand it. He had to have one. So this was his first one. And it was a funny story. Lady sold it to me, and we'd been doing this with it. I mean, just destroying it. And she called me one day cussing me out. She said, what have you been doing with my Jeep? I was like, it didn't matter. She said, well, you got a parking ticket on it. I was like, there's no parking ticket on this Jeep. But he had it and just had fun with them. I'm gonna get on the lift here in a minute. It's getting dark on us. But you can see it's seen some stuff. The cage is hilarious. I'll get on that when I get inside. I'm trying to think. Oh, if you've ever seen my pink Jeep, the only reason I had that pink Jeep is because I had this one, which was a Renix edition. You know, the ones that don't have the rear limiter. And it was fine, I had no trouble with it. So Justin built this one before we even knew what a rear limiter was or why. I was like, well, if his has got a rear limiter, I want one. So the pink Jeep was the next Jeep I come across. I'll add a picture of it, hopefully. But that's where pink Jeep started. Well, then I was having fun in the Grand Cherokee. Justin went, and then the story carries on. I'll tell that another day. But yeah, I'll get them both in the shop here. Kind of just give you a walk around and see. I actually straightened this back out. That was caved in. It's just so funny every time we get stuck, obviously we do, just ram each other. No tow straps. I tried airing down. So yeah, let me get them in the shop and I'll give you a rundown on them. All right, done got dark on me. I didn't realize Justin's Jeep ain't got a seat. We took them out because they had some old nasty growing, they was growing grass. They was just terrible. So it's standing full of water. I'm probably gonna drive it in this bay in case it decides to keep going on me. We'll get this in there first. Ain't sketchy at all. Justin needs to check his engine lock. Trying to drill a hole. It's full of water. Let me get these things situated. Hold on. All right, got both of them in the shop. And that's one thing I was gonna say, if you know me or don't know me, I get attached to everything and I don't ever sell nothing because I don't, Jeep's gonna, what would that Jeep bring? $1,500? Doubt it. So it's no point in selling, I just collect everything. This one is kind of mine, but actually Justin's. I think I bought it, pretty sure, and he just drove it. That's what sucks now. I'm trying not to jump back and forth. That one was 5-speed factory, so that's where we got on the kick of the 5-speed stuff, because we had big Jeeps on 36s, 35s, And you know, you get in a tight spot in an automatic Jeep, you give it gas, it's just gonna boom, boom. So when I got that on 31s, man, you could get any spot you want, roll back up on an obstacle, and then just dump the clutch.
Let's go! Let's go!
And what the big Jeeps couldn't crawl over, this thing would just bounce over. And I'm sure you've seen us bounce over everything, but that's where this got started. And what's crazy, this come with the AW4, which now we pretty much run in every single one of them, but I didn't have 700 Jeeps when we started at all. Well, you can see this gets bad. But we had to start somewhere, it's all we could afford. So, oh, that's where I was going. That was AW4. And that's a Peugeot there, that's what it come with. Didn't know no difference. Well, this thing come along and I had a AX15. Yeah, AX15. I didn't know what they was worth, so I think I give it to Justin. For some reason I think I gave him a high opinion for this one too. But, so yeah, that's how all that got started. It sucks because that transmission got rained in and froze and bust. It still works. We just have to keep it covered up and put oil in it. So, give me a second, I'm gonna look at this Jeep here. So this Jeep was a Renix, and there wasn't nothing wrong with it. I never had a minute's trouble out of it, except, well, one time. And this is being completely honest. I crashed right here. Well, I wouldn't call it crash. You've seen the way we drive, but I wrecked into something. It quit running. We was on the trail, and I crap you not, we was trying to get back home. I had it where you turn the key on, that fired up like the ignition part of it. Reach behind you, plug the fuel pump up, pulled the headlights out, and then you'd click high beam as the starter, and when you got done you turn the headlights back off. And that's how it was forever, till one winter. That one's never been redone. This one I got bored and kind of redone the cage, which I'll show you in a second. But when I did it, I was like, you know what, I want a rev limiter. So I took it all apart and converted it to like a 91, 92, whatever harness. So yeah, fuel pump used to be, I think it's strapped to the floor, ratchet straps, and I think it's about right there. Had a spare tire bolted. It's not there no more, and that's what, I think I already told y'all, this used to be shoved way in. I took the Bobcat and poked it back out. Same thing here. Traction bars, we'll get on them in a second. I don't know why I did the seat belts like that. But like I said, this cage is kind of semi-redid. You can see that's the old part right there. And it's not too bad of a job. But you can see there was one that went down to there. I don't know why we didn't know nothing. I probably built this, let's see, 12 years ago. I'd have been 20, 21 years old. We made bad decisions back then, but I kind of cut it off, redid it, made it a little better. Still not good. Didn't have a bender, couldn't afford a bender. Put all the harness up here, battery box, simple gauges. I think it still cranks with a key. That's a start button. If you're strapped in, you can't reach there, so that's that. Fan, light bar, and then I think one's radio, and that's the volume for the radio. I doubt it works. Simple ground. And I don't remember why, but look how high the clutch pedal is. I don't really remember why I did that, but check out the front end. I don't know, like I don't have an explanation for some of the stuff we did, but that one, true story. I'm gonna go back and forth on these. This is like if you was in a factory, looked up and saw the sprinkler system, it'd be water pipe. Well, there was a building that burnt, and somehow I got connected, and the building burnt to the ground, and all the sprinkler systems laying on the ground. So this has been through a burnt building. You can see right there, water pipe. And I think we cut it all with a Sawzall on the back of a Comanche. And I don't remember how he bent this. I think we had one of them Harbor Freight benders. Don't do a good job, but it served its purpose. I think that one collapsed maybe, and he had to redo it. But yeah, there's a, hold on. No gap there. No weld there. No weld there. That's pitiful. Welded to the door hinge. I'm sure nothing's back there. Oh, this is crazy. The transfer case is coming through the floor. Good. Got a tree growing in it. Oh, that's what I was going to show you. His is in much better shape than mine. A leaf spring plate. That's what bolts on top of the leaf springs. It's just what we had. Didn't have fancy stuff to do anything with. So, back on this one. Oh yeah, this one has the Pugo transmission. I have no idea how this came, but it is what it is. But crap you not, there's a girl at Wheeling in the Country. It's called The Ledge. And she's like, can I drive your Jeep? Talking about this one up it. I was like, if you can figure out how to crank it, crap you not. Nobody's in there with her. Next thing I knew, I heard a starter, and she figured out to plug the fuel pump up, headlights that nobody told her. So she tried to hit the ledge in third gear and broke all the bolts off on like the back adapter plate for the transmission. Other than that, never had trouble at all. This one actually grabs gears pretty good. Let me pop the hood. There's a mod I didn't even know I did. It's got a hood prop, but it just folds back far enough you don't even need it. So you can tell it's not very clean at all. But I think I took the Renix motor out. I think it was I don't remember, don't matter. So I put this motor in, and you can see this is all beat up. I had a cone filter. But I always like to run them over there and pull some air from like in the cab, because that's cool air. Over here, exhaust gets cherry red. And if you're smart, cherry red means heat. So not like we care about horsepower, but other than that, got a power steering cooler, one of them. I hate them things, but it's just what I had at the time. And I know everybody's gonna disagree with me, but the fan has 4 bolts running through it, so it's hard mounted, I guess you call it. I crap you not, I don't care how long you ride the rear limiter, it's gonna sit at 190. People won't believe me, but I'm not a liar. It is what it is. Alright, so I think that's about it for down here. We'll put it on the lift, show you kind of what's up underneath it. Check out these tires. I bought a Groover, and I don't know if you can tell, before they had like absolutely no tread, but them tires actually do pretty good. So we'll tour around this one real quick and see what it's about. The roof on this thing looks so rough. Somewhere at Hot Springs we flipped it on one of them hills, and it was down in like a creek bed, like a hard bottom creek bed, and we had no choice. We had to drag it down the creek to get to somewhere that was open enough to flip it over. So that's how this Jeep, I think it's about the only time it's been flipped, honestly. You can see how rusty it is, but I think he just, wow, what a plate. That's how he mounts his tire up there. That was brand new. Wow, he's gonna be rotating. I think one time he broke an axle when he had drums on it, and all we could do, we didn't have I bet that's it right there. We didn't have no way to get it back, so we put a chain around it and chained the tire to the Jeep and drove it home in 3-wheel drive, and obviously it flat spotted the tire, but I don't know if he's still running that tire or not. So this Jeep ain't been touched in ever. Man, it's so much quality. Let me study on it and I'll see. Man, look at that. Yeah, let me study on it a little more. This ain't my Jeep. Oh, this is the one cool thing. Like I said, back then had more time than money. Yeah, said that right. We didn't have no money, we had time. But I did have a few Jeeps and we couldn't afford harnesses. So, normal seatbelt, you know, common sense stuff here. And then we got the bright idea. I don't know what that is. Got a hose clamp. And then got another seatbelt right here. And got a buckle here and a buckle there. And it's, I don't know if you've ever seen, the seatbelt has like a little weight that hangs. So when you start climbing the hill, that weight comes back. And then, yeah, well, no. Where's it at? I can't see it. I guess it's hidden in there. Well, you can see this one. See the ratchet teeth right there? So, as you're bouncing around, settling in the seat like up a hill, they pull tighter and they don't come back. So, I swear they're almost better than like a 5-point harness that you pull on, because as you're wiggling, they're tightening up and they don't let go. But when you flip over, you about got to cut it out of there. So that was just something, yeah. Did have a fire extinguisher. Oh yeah, here's another coupler, welded a little thing. No idea what he done there. He didn't even weld it. Stick my finger through there. The whole thing's not even welded. Probably a good thing we got out of these Jeeps. They're just historical markers. Some growing stuff. Under the hood, looks pretty stock. His ABS, he needs to fix that. Got a check engine light. Oh, fan we was reading on the internet, fan in the hood. Yeah, it does help, but like I said, that one never run hot, no fan in the hood. So Justin finally took my advice, put a bolt through it. You can see it turns the pulleys. And I don't think you have to worry about running hot. You ever seen a redneck jumper battery? AC compressor. He did his simple. I don't know how you turn it on. Oh, that's simple. Flip switch. And just a blow off valve like on a compressor. So airs up a tire, but if it gets to whatever the blow off valve is, it just blows off. So pretty simple, fail safe. I think that's got this one covered. He had bead locks. I borrowed them from my tough truck and never returned them. So, oh, I thought that was something growing in there. Look, these Jeeps are so used. All right, I'm gonna get them both on the lift real quick. Before I lifted this one, I don't like being called out by a flyer. There's the shifter. So this thing was converted. I swear I don't know what people get on calling people out on social media, but it's annoying. All right, got them both on the lift. I know that Jeep. I don't know this Jeep at all, so I'll go over it first. Like I said, we was running basically no lift. I'm pretty sure no lift at all, like zero. Well, that one has V8 springs, but this one don't. This one sits low. So we used to believe in full skid plates. And well, we start fresh. Looks like a desert pre-runner. All this is plated. This is before we knew. We learned all this stuff before anybody was really doing it. I'm pretty sure. Sure, somebody was just giving a Jeep heck, but we kind of figured it all out. So huge skid plate, golly. I don't know if it's a quarter or full of mud. I think something runs along here and supports it. Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna stick y'all up there. I don't even know what's up there, but that's 3/8. Golly. I bet this Jeep weighs 4,600 pounds. Justin's idea for steering was lay a, yeah, that's a solid piece of metal. So there's your factory steering, solid piece of metal laid right beside it. Factory track bar, CV axles. Pretty sure yeah, I think we run them for a while. No steering stabilizer. High pinion, of course. No braces there. No braces there. These Jeeps literally are stock, and that's where I'm going with a video. I'll kind of explain at the end. I made a short on this. I know nobody's gonna believe me. That U-joint has never had needles in it the entire life of the Jeep. Well, I'll take that back. I will say probably when we built the Jeep, but shortly after they fell out, and Justin's like, it ain't broke, and he just kept driving it. So you can see how far it goes. Kind of not aligned, but I kind of agree with him. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Dent in the oil pan, WJ. Need to clearance him there. He didn't do nothing, of course. This is what's crazy. This whole thing is a skid plate. I didn't know he did this. He's got a bolt. I think I welded mine. But like I said, we sit on the ground, so you can go up anything. You don't have to worry about nothing. Just look at it. And that's where the whole ramming each other got into play. And I actually had a skid plate right along here that saddle clamped right there. But he don't. What is going on here? Okay, so that's a Dodge Dakota yoke. It sits deeper in there, but the strap didn't cover it, so he welded filler material. I don't know what, that's a motor mount off of a, well, that's that motor mount right up there. Actually, it's probably that one because of ears. So yeah, we learning. That's a God, I can't say that. That's an actual axle shaft cut off here. Oh, that's the two-piece shaft, like on the Cherokees up there. That's that one. I guess it's welded to another one. I can't see where it goes, but it don't break. So that's that. All right, let me walk up here. We used to go trail riding, and we'd go till pretty much all of us slung the rear drive shafts. Hold up. All right, maybe I can finish now. Tongue got tired. Oh, we used to go trail riding every single weekend. We'd sling, there was probably 4 or 5 of us that went, and we'd go till everybody slung the rear drive shaft. Then we'd go home. I was like, man, this is fun. I said, I don't want to quit slinging the drive shaft. So I was destined to figure it out on my own. And like Justin, he was trying some creative stuff. He put a bar there, made like a Y link, bolted there. And funny thing, he had 0 suspension. Like, I think it would flex, but it wouldn't go up and down. But he proceeded to giving it heck. And no shock bushing, it still works. So that's where I did the math, and I drew it out in my head. I said, XJs are light. I said, the springs are soft. I said, I think the pinion is flexing in the leaf spring, turning up till the angle is so steep that it's just popping the caps off. So let me show you this first, so I'm not a liar. I don't want to be caught in a lie. I didn't know how strong this had to be. And this was back when the Jeep was more factory. I had to, whatever this gas thing was right there for the hose. So this one only comes back to here. That one's broke. There used to be a plate of metal that cupped over this. But whatever it is, that's a track bar welded to the leaf spring plate. And then this was something just to make it stronger. This one's huge. It goes all the way back here. You see it's got like a saddle clamp there. It don't even line up no more neither. But you can see where it hits right there. But that's what I do, put them at full droop and then give it like an inch gap right there. And that way the axle can't, it's hard to explain. I'm gonna make a full video on it one day. But that way, you know, the spring will flex like that, especially if they got blocks. If you got blocks, you're gonna sling drive shafts like crazy. But that way when it starts to try to turn up like that, it'll just bottom out right here. And I promise, you can try all you want. You are not going to sling that drive shaft. So Justin did his, basically the same concept, just a little different. I think that's a Comanche, maybe a YJ. I think it's Comanche, I'm not sure. But he did that, like some C-channel to hook into there. And his works perfect, no problem. You can see it's a little off-center. And we're going to, oh, I don't like being called a liar, but you can see we obviously put disc brakes on after he broke this axle. And you can see right there where we went ahead and sent it home. So disc brakes, that way when you break an axle, they don't run out on you. We learned that. But funny story, I let a buddy borrow this thing, and he's one of them, he's cool, and then he gets to drinking, and then all of a sudden like a flip of a light switch. And that's what he did. He was driving perfectly fine. All of a sudden, Hawk Pride, we get a little obstacle. He bellies it out, breaks 3 axles, and still just hammering down. It was a wild night, but I think we're on 29 splines now, so this one should be good. I'm trying to educate y'all on, you don't have to have the biggest, best stuff, just a little bit of knick-knack stuff. I'll explain that here in a second. So yeah, let's get on that one. One more thing before I forget, when Justin was kind of, I wouldn't call it redoing it. This thing sit for like 5 years, no, probably like 7 or 8 years, and obviously fuel pump, but he got it in here and kind of knew a little more about Jeeps. But he took 2 pieces of metal, cut them in half, pulled the spring down and welded them, and he's got a cheap 2-inch lip. So yeah, here we go. Same thing up front. Didn't know no better, put a humongous skid plate up there. And what that is, I know there's a sway bar that runs right across, if you can see that ridge, to kind of support it. That's my version of bulletproof steering. It's a sway bar welded right here, keep cooling it down, keep from melting the joint. Sway bar welded to a sway bar, same thing there. And if I hadn't explained it to you, sway bar is spring material. So if you hit it with a rock, it'll hit the axle. Obviously probably bottoms out right there, but it always comes back to home. So little trick there. All right, I was looking on here, just kind of figure some stuff out, but WJ, that's like a must do on like every Jeep ever. We ain't got no braces on there. No braces there, you can see. You can't make that crap up. Some of the ones now, we brace this knuckle up. We ain't worried about that. If you can find the old Renix bump stops, them things are amazing. I don't know how something can be 20 something years old, 30 years old actually. Yeah, they're older than me. And still be tough. This is one thing, is people weld the caps, and I read on the internet, I did it myself. But I got to thinking, it's like, you're welding, correct me if I'm wrong, but the axles are, I would assume they're, no. I don't want to stick my foot in my mouth. I'm just not going to say nothing. But those welds do break loose, so I got to thinking, I said, weld the clip. It don't really see no pressure, and that way if the cap does spin, it don't pop the cap off. Because if you break the welds on the cap, it'll spin and pop the clips off. So, little trick of mine I've learned, it's obviously worked. Stock drive shaft. I messed up, I missed the whole scene there. I said the S word and GoPro thought I meant to quit recording. I had to watch it now because I missed the whole scene. But, stock drive shaft, Spicer U-joints. Actually, I don't know what them are. Double cardigan. This is 3/8 plate, and now I would do this differently, but you can see I put rubber bushings. Now I would just bolt it straight in there and let it kind of flex on its own. Rear drive shaft, oh my gosh, that's my biggest fear right there. If that thing ever somehow got in there, I don't know what it would do, but it would be not good. So, like I said, stock drive shaft would hold up, but they'll get, if they ever get like hit with a rock, they'll dent. So this is probably 120 walls. Spicer 1310X, that's the best you're gonna get. Half of a bushing, no bushing. Huge WJ brakes. I don't really know why I did them, but like I said, I kind of redid this Jeep, did everything. Y'all seen the torque wrap thing, 29 spline. I think Justin's, when we redid it, we put it on 29. So trailer hitch is pushed in. Can't explain that one. I don't know what that is. Never seen that in my life. So yeah. Oh, the skid plate. Used to weld here, and then here, and then it kept on going. So there was a piece of metal from this control arm back to right there. No, that's the frame. I don't know how far it went. Maybe, I guess right there. And then I had a piece that went down through there. So, oh, that's what I was gonna show you. This piece must be off a Wrangler, because Cherokees are drilled down here to clock the transfer case down. But somehow, when I told you the girl broke it, I guess I found that off a Wrangler. So that's why it's like shoved plumb up in the floor. Oh no. Yeah. So the point being, this whole video is quit reading all the crap online. That Jeep costs nothing. And this one, I mean, minus the cage out of cheap pipe. Just, I mean, little simple tricks that I just showed you. That's all you need to go have fun. So quit putting huge lifts on them. Just go out and enjoy. I swear, we've had more fun out of these two. Obviously, we have fun with the ones we have now, but they are a little more effort. So if you want to go build you one like that, there's literally, I mean, in a day's time, you'll have the thing bulletproof. Have a good day.